What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the DIY guy. Let's do something scary. Today, we're going to be discussing something kind of fun. It's a little tutorial on a heat gun. Yes, mine is pink because I share this with my daughter. She actually bought it for us. We use this for so many reasons and so many things. For her, she uses it for her resin, and I use it on the resin and many other things. So you're going to have different ones, different colors, different sizes, and we just happen to have hot pink. So that way we don't lose it. Alright, so quick thing about a heat gun. There's many different ones. There's many different sizes. Some of them can have a temperature control and an airflow by a switch. However, this one is just a basic run-of-the-mill on-off kind of thing. Nothing special, but it does for what we need it to do. Some of them even have an LED display that'll show you the temp and your air control settings, which obviously, again, this one does not. You're going to have your vent slots right here, which you don't ever want to cover those up because that's pulling in air and you don't want your unit to overheat and have a problem. Okay? Before you start using this, if you've never used one of these before, you want to go ahead and use it on something like scrap for testing, and which I happen to have a couple pieces here. We're going to do some testing so I can go through a couple things with you guys. Depending on the job, you may need the right accessories, okay? Different ones have different tips for different projects, whether you're working with pipes or different things. I'm not 100% sure how many different pieces are out there. I haven't needed one for those specific type of jobs. For me, I'm just working with styrofoam and resin, so light stuff for me. Alright. When you're done using it, obviously with any hot object, you should know, let it cool down before you start handling it, because it does get hot. They can get very, very hot. It melts things. So, ergo, let it cool down, okay? Alright, basic workings of a heat gun is you've got your switch. Maybe plastic, maybe metal. Mine just happens to be plastic. Alright, there's a heating element inside that heats up, which has volts that run through a coil heating up inside as a motor is pulling in air and pushing air forward, going through the heated coils, which comes out the tip or nozzle, and which you'll have hot air coming out. If it's not pushing hot air, you may have something wrong inside, so shut it off immediately and have it serviced, or if you're a DIYer, then by all means check it out, but be very careful because you don't want to shock yourself. Alright? And never, 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 never sit there and hold your hand to it when it's hot, because it will burn you. And that's never a good thing. Alright, so let's do this. Alright, we got a couple pieces of styrofoam here. Now, basically, obviously, you know what, let's start with something smaller before we mess up. Something like that. Oh, and I just dropped it. Alright, for safety reasons, which safety should always be your number one concern, let's have, I'm going to use a little X-Acto blade so we can stick this on there, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to show you. Not sure if you can hear me or how well, but it takes only a couple seconds to heat itself up. If you hold it directly, I'm not sure how clear we can see this, but if you hold this directly onto it, as you can see, it just melts away. Alright? So, to keep ourselves from losing any product that we're trying to create or project, okay, let's go ahead, let's get rid of that piece. Holding it directly, we've learned, melts it completely down. Let's get us another scrap piece. Alright. There are different types of styrofoams too, which can have different reactions. I've learned over the years that I prefer the styrofoam that has the little bubbles, the crevices that kind of look like little moon indentions, I guess. I don't know what the technical term is, but anyway, I prefer to use the style. It just happens to be random that I get that when I order things, so it just works out. Alright, so let's try this again, but instead of directly holding it on, let's see if we can try to shape this into a more workable thing instead of just directly melting it. And to do so, once you start seeing it, just really don't know if you can see, but when you start to seeing it starting to shape itself and melt, pull back a little bit, okay? It's only going to get as hot as you make it and let it get hot. It's only going to melt as far as you let it melt. So you can have the control yourself. The less you do, the less is there. The more you do, the more is there. You know, it's a give and take. You know, you get a lot of heat, it's going to take a lot of heat. Alright? Not specific any shape, but we're just working it down little by little. Tighten it up. So, being that it's scrap, not much we can do. We're going to do with that. So let's do this, okay? Let's just say I want to go ahead and use these big pieces. Let's just say you want to make you a sign. Alright, let's get a bigger piece. Let's just say you want to make a sign. We already have that pre-cut? No, you do not. Alright. You want to make a sign because, well, Halloween is coming up. One of our favorite days. Okay? So, we got us a sign we need to make. What does it say? I don't know. What does it say? Boo. Okay? How about that? Boo. There's a couple different ways you can do this. To get the lettering, you can heat up a long nail, a screw, a piece of pipe. Anything that can heat up will work out great. Okay, so apparently, make sure we are. Okay, we are. But apparently, we weren't recording that last special section where right after we took our pen and we went to go find the thing. But anyway, so we wrote boo on there, and then what I went to go find and went to go get, and then came back and I tried to record, and apparently it did it, was this right here. This is my soldering pen. The soldering pen works fabulous for writing on what am I don't even know what I'm saying now. I'm so discombobulated. I cannot believe that we didn't record any of that. This works fabulous for writing on styrofoam. When it heats up, I'll do a quick demonstration. But while it does that, I'm just going to go ahead and we also missed the air gun, the heat gun, melting down the thing. So maybe, you know what? Why don't we just do another one? How about that? You know what? You guys love me. You guys are willing to stick around for another one, right? Why not? Better to show you anyway, and it's fun making it anyway. And you know what? We'll paint the other one too, because we're going to paint this one at the end. Alright, so where did we put the heat gun? You know, very disorganized going on here, and you can tell I'm not a professional. So, alright, we got our heat gun. Yay! We're still recording? Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Yes, okay. Got our heat pen. Okay, let's do a demonstration. Let's see, or not demonstrate, do a test it, see if it's on. Okay. Alright. What did we write? Boo, right? That's what we had? Alright. Alright, well we did boo on the other one. So let's write, I don't know. I'm stuck. I don't know. Hey, you know what? How about this? I'm not an artist, so my drawing is not the greatest, and I'm sorry. Okay, there. Well, I try to make a cross. But anyway, I promise in the end things look better than they do in the beginning. So we're going to take our pen and we're just going to come through and we're just going to stab it just a little bit because it's heat and melt it down. And we're just going to followed by another another little. And yes, I make noises when I do projects. Don't know why. Makes it more fun. You know, I don't know what other people would say, but if you can't have fun with yourself, who could you have fun with? Right? And I haven't personally met them, but there's a group of, there's a couple people that I've come across that seem to have the sense of humor I have to a degree. Maybe not as bad, but they're funny on the end and on blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Anyway, so here we go. We got our cross. The heat pen, that's what that does. Now, for the heat gun. Remember what we said before. Do you remember what we said? Let's take a quick little memory trip backwards and see. We said if we want to use our heat gun, it puts out a lot of heat. So if we hold it directly over it for too long, what happens? Well, we still have that little piece. No, because I think when I was doing the recording last time, I threw it away somewhere. Oh, no, right here. Alright. We have this. We don't want this. Right? We don't want to have something that just looks just horribly wrong. So less is more to a degree because it's a heat gun and we're working with styrofoam. Obviously, if you're working with thicker foam that's more dense and a little more heat resistant, obviously you'll hold it there longer. But this, however, we saw in the beginning, doesn't require too much heat. It will move. So let's go ahead. You know what? I did this last time in the video prior to that. I forgot. And this is probably why we ended up disconnecting last time. Let's add, we're still hot, yeah, we're still hot. Let's add a couple, you know, I feel like that piece is broken off here, piece broken off there. Yeah. I don't know, it's just a Halloween sign, so it's not like, you know, you're making something for a wedding or something. I mean, you could, I mean. Also, I don't know, I'm just making stuff. Hey, you know what, let's add a nice little, just a small little crack right inside. Yeah. You hear that? Someone sees me. Don't know if you like that sound in the background. I'm sure my new friends from wicked makers. I'm sure they'll like that background ambiance. It's actually how my phone lets me know I have a message. I've been running that for 4 years. So anyway, alright, so we added a little texture, drawings, cracks, crevices type of thing going on. So now let's take the heat gun and let's go ahead and work it's flat, it's still square. It doesn't have too much dimension on it. We want to give it more of a textured look, I guess you could say. So, and remember, we don't have to hold it directly on there. Some spots we can if we want to bring it down a little bit, like that. But for the most part, just a couple seconds going side to side. You don't even have to go fast, really, you know, because all you're wanting to do is you just want to expose the look that's there. It's hiding, but it's there, and just lightly working it will show you. Now, this styrofoam, like I said before, I like because the way this stuff works in the end, and the way it presents itself when you apply heat, gives it such an amazing look. I'm actually going to come in with this a little bit, get that nice little hole there, and right here. Let's do it up top too. Boom. Yeah. We don't need a corner there. Something chipped off of it a long time ago. That's what that is. Alright. Now, if you got high spots, that's okay. That's okay, working with a heat gun. That's okay. It's nice to have heat spots. High spots. The heat gun will provide you with what you need. You just, like I said, practice on a scrap piece first. Learn how to make it work and not work for you. I have a couple templates, actually don't have them here. I have a couple templates made out of aluminum sheeting. It's that flashing stuff. But what we did is we cut out a stencil and we used that to stick on top of the styrofoam and then take the heat gun and go straight over it, and then it just kind of, but that's, like I said, in the beginning you can make stencils like that. It was a lot more work. It was back in the beginning when I was trying it. Then, you know, I discovered that, you know, hey, a hot knife or a hot nail or something like that works out, okay? This was years and years and years ago. But, so right now, oh, I never even got to show you. Okay, so this is what we did now, okay? This is what we did now. It's going to look better. It doesn't look like much now, but you can see the texture on it. We're not worried about the backside because this is something that we can mount to something later on. So here's what we did before in the recording when it never recorded, okay? That's our boo sign, okay? That's our boo. How you doing, boo? I've missed you. Ha ha. Joke, joke. Alright, anyway. So, now as a bonus, let's go ahead and take these. Let's make sure we are still plugged in and recording. Alright. I've got a plastic little thing here. We still good? Yes, we are still good. Okay. Gotta cover up my stuff here. I don't want to get it painted. Alright, how about that? Can y'all see this? Wonder if I can move you. Here, let's do this. We don't need this plugged in anymore. I redid my workshop and I don't have a lot of space to work with. I've got plans on building a studio, but I've got some other things that I'm trying to handle first, real quick while I'm readjusting my position here, just to give you a heads up of where I've been. I had been hospitalized a couple times. One of the times I was sepsis by an infection in my leg I got a long time ago from chasing some perps. I got cut on my leg, and over the years it just got really, really bad and ended up going sepsis. So, but I'm all good now. $30,000 later. So, I never saw even any of that. Luckily, insurance helps. So, and then what was that? At the beginning of the year, towards the beginning of the year, whatever. I lost almost all my air, and found out I had bronchitis. I used to smoke. I quit smoking 5 years ago, about. Then I started vaping. I enjoyed the flavors, but once I found out that I had bronchitis, I just went ahead and said, okay, I quit, and just stopped. So, but and then of course, the lovely Corona out there has just been so pleasant on everybody, and I'm sorry that we have to deal with that, guys. But luckily, you have YouTubers that like to keep you company. Alright, so we're going to have some fun with some paint. Now, full disclaimer, if you paint your styrofoam and your styrofoam melts, that is not my fault, because I'm going to explain to you one time. It's real simple. Paint and styrofoam, they don't mix. They do not. That's like literally taking your heat gun and just letting it sit on your styrofoam for 10 minutes. You're going to come back, there won't be nothing there except a mess, okay? Paint does the same thing. But because we're working with the styrofoam and the heat gun and we're going to paint it, so it kind of all flows together to the same degree. This is why I'm doing multiple things. And plus it's Halloween, baby. Gotta have Halloween, right? Yup. Oh, y'all couldn't even see that, so it's all good. Alright, so the same thing with the heat gun, okay? First things first, okay? When you're painting something with painting with styrofoam, first things first, you do not, and I repeat, you do not want to paint it heavy on the first run. You paint it heavy on that first run, you will not have nothing left. Guaranteed. Because I'm not sure what the chemical compound is that takes and eats up the styrofoam. I'm assuming it's on an acidic level. I'm not a scientist, and those are as big as the words that I'm going to get you on this channel today. So that's all I know. And that's from years of being like testing. But however, I do have a giant box that we made a couple years ago for Halloween. Styrofoam and paint, and it worked out really lovely. So we're going to let that one sit, and then we're going to come across here, and we're going to do this one. So this one, I'm going to put a little bit heavier, only because I want this one to have just a little bit of stronger details for what we're going to do. Okay. Now that's pretty heavy and pretty thick on there. So we should be alright with that for the moment. You know what? That's good. Whoop. Seem to have a bit of a technical difficulty with my paint can here. It's wanting to spray upwards and not downwards, and that's not the way it's supposed to go, and I am not about to paint my eye. This is not a comedy channel. We don't make jokes. Yeah, we make jokes. We don't hurt ourselves. And I can't imagine paint in your eye feeling too good. So, alright, let's test this out, see. Alright, here we go. Alright. Do one more coat on that. Bam. Okay. We're going to give that a minute to set. Sit and set. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about the heat guns that I can let you know about while we're doing this. Be smart about your purchase. I mean, look at it when you take it out of the package to make sure that everything's connected, nothing's loose. Because in all seriousness, folks, these things can catch fire and burn your house down and leave you with nothing. It's meant to heat up. That's its primary objective. So be smart about it. If you've been using one for years and there's a little split in the line, um, and you know how to splice and reconnect wiring, then go ahead. But if not, just toss it and buy a new one. Let's be safe about it. If you want to know how to refix a wire or reconnect a wire, I do have a video already dropped. Did that a couple months back on redoing an extension cord. And funny as it is it took me a minute to get to this video because, again, my lovely dogs decided to make a chew toy out of my extension cord and chewed out my power. So yeah, that was lovely. So luckily, last time I was at the store I bought extras, so I was able to fix that first and foremost. Alright, let's get back to it, because this looks like the shine of it's gone down a little bit. Now, your color preference for your palettes are whatever it may be, okay? Me, my basis of what I've got going for Halloween right now and the projects that I've been working on involve black and winter gray. Now, winter gray, it can float and transition, on play and how you use it. Way I'm using it for, it actually works out wonderful, and I like sticking with it. And I do have red. I have actually multiple colors, but my primary is black and winter gray. Alright, now with the winter gray, we're going to take this part and we are going to, I'm going to move this other one out the way just so that way we can we don't need to paint it heavy. Now, once this dries, because this wouldn't come out the way I was hoping it would, we can go through and we can add black in to the outline of the cross. If you have a stencil, which this is actually a benefit, let me let you know on that. If you have a stencil of a cross, that would actually work out really well, because you can lay the cross stencil over it and then use your heat gun to go over it to drop down the side layer, to drop it down to give the cross more of a dimension outward, more 3D. Where this is flat, yes, and fairly flat, but that was just a quick one. I didn't put too much thought in it. It was just a random boom, boom, boom. Now, what I did was I went ahead and sprayed real quick. If you heard me, I sprayed this one a little bit harder, and you can see right here how it's eating it away, because I sprayed it heavy. But that's okay. It's fine for what I'm about to do, which it's fine. You literally can watch it eat. I don't know if you can. Let's see. I'll try to hold it still. Can you see that? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah? Okay. Alright. This is not going to come out perfect because it's just a quick, But anyway, so while that's eating, it's still going to keep eating. But that's fine. I'm not worried about it because I'm going to come through now. Just add a couple squirts of this. And here's our little boo sign. So we have our boo and our cross. Now, if you are making a plaque for something, which I currently was in the process of doing, I'm gonna go ahead and show you a little sneak preview. Here's the one I've made for something that I'm doing right now that I'm building. I actually have this mounted onto a piece of board with some hot glue, but yeah, and that's a little bit more of a better planning. My A doesn't look quite right though. Just realized that. More more emphasis on the D-E-D part and then not on the A, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so you see, works out pretty lovely. So